Hello, good evening, friends, and my dear students. So, today we are going to start the third session for the paper BEGLA 135 English in Daily Life. So, this is the third session, and yesterday we had discussed about greetings and goodbyes. So, that was the first block. So, there are 4 units in the first block. Unit 1 starting and ending conversations. Second, social small talk, feelings, and non-verbal communication, body language. So this was the beginning of the block first. Yesterday we had discussed in detail, and the last point that we discussed was samples of greetings. So starting a conversation. So I'm going to resume from the point where we had left. Starting a conversation, so involving the people and making people feel relaxed and comfortable. So the point there we had left. So starting a conversation involves 3 steps: greeting, introducing yourself, asking after the other person's well-being. So this was the point. And now we move on, and today we are going to start listening how to end a conversation. So first of all, it was the starting of conversation, then there was the body of the conversation where you can communicate, where you can express your ideas, where you can receive, and where you can tell and transfer your information. So that is the beginning of today's session. So now listening how to end a conversation. So listen to the conversation between 3 friends. As we discussed earlier, that this paper BEGLA English in Daily Life is more practice based. So here you want and here you need more and more practice. This is extensive practice is required because this is like practical paper. And in the classrooms, if we are having practical sessions or tutorials, then we can discuss in detail, and there the practice sessions can be held. But now in this online program, I can just tell you or suggest you how to be successful in the study of this paper. So listening how to end a conversation. So how to end a conversation, here we are given some practice sessions or the check your progress activities like exercises. If we are doing these exercises at our own level, then obviously these are our like tutorials or practice sessions. So here he is saying that answer the questions that follow, and you will notice that the conversation is in the informal style. So can you suggest some reasons for this? Before you listen, you must read the questions below. So as we were discussing yesterday, that listening is possible if you have some recorded material, and it is mentioned in your study material that the university is providing some recorded material, some audio cassettes or like the CDs, and but here on the IGNOU website I haven't found. If you have found, fine. Otherwise, as I suggested earlier, that there are some or many exercises available on the different social media channels like YouTube or other channels where you can find that various practice sessions for listening. Just you have to search the listening exercises for the development of communication skills. Then you will have a list of many exercises, communication process exercises, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So those are your helping tools, and I suggest that you should take benefit of these technical advancements. So the check your progress, number 5. So first of all, say whether the following statements are true or false. So here a kind of exercise is given. 6 points are there. First of all, you have to listen to the audio and you have to answer the question. Why? Because like reading comprehension is there. Reading comprehension means that you are reading a paragraph. You are reading a passage. In the reading paragraph, that first of all you are assimilating the ideas in your mind, then you are able to answer the questions. If you are able to answer the questions properly or in a correct manner, then it means your reading activity has been a successful activity. So same case happens in case of listening and speaking skills. Listening is listening to the audio, recorded audio, and then you have to answer the question. If any one of you is preparing for the IELTS, because these days it is very a popular phenomena that students are preparing for their IELTS. IELTS acronym of 4 words: International English Language Testing System, where students are going to foreign countries. There you would see that how they are preparing, same thing, that they are developing their 4 skills. They are developing their listening skills. They are made to listen some recorded material, then they have to answer the questions: reading, writing, listening, speaking. Here we call them dimensions, there they are calling as modules. Here we call them the score, there they call bands. So that is the same thing, it is applicable in every field. So it is going to be helpful for you practically, because I don't know that if any one of you preparing for IELTS, or if anyone is going to a foreign country, because in North India these days this is a very, you can say, in a fashion, for academic fashion for students. So in every field, that's why I have seen personally that in my class, first of all, students were doing BA, graduation, Bachelor of Arts, medical or commerce. Initially they do not take much interest in the communication skills, and once their BA classes are over, they have done their BA final year, then they go to various these coaching centers in order to develop their skills. Actually, here is the platform, this is the platform where you can develop your skills. The thing is this, that this paper is not history paper, this paper is not sociology paper, this is not theoretical, it's not only theory. Here it is all about practice, because language is like a skill. If you want to be a singer, you have to sing. If you want to be a player, you have to play. Similarly, if you want to be a communicator, good communicator or effective communicator, my dear students, you have to communicate, you have to listen, and you have to speak, read and write. Then you can develop your communication skills. Otherwise, in the absence of practice, just by going through the theoretical concepts or listening to the lectures of the teacher, fine, you are getting the basic knowledge, but in the absence of the practice, then the results are not there, and our whole efforts are not so fruitful as they should be or as they might be. Okay, so this is the ending of the conversation. Now we move ahead to the vocabulary. Vocabulary in the informal expressions. Yes, so now before 1.7, I am telling you simultaneously the numbers of the points, so that if you have study material with you, then you can easily correlate that the teacher is referring to these points. So before going to 1.7 vocabulary in the informal expressions, so just complete the listening exercise, or the listening or the ending the conversation progress report. As you listen to the dialogue, you have to note down specific information from it and ignore other parts of it. This reproduces a common real life situation where we listen for what we want to know and treat the rest of the information as redundant. So there is no need to use the irrelevant information. The relevant information that is required for the process or for the purpose of understanding, that should be taken. Okay, now vocabulary. So vocabulary is there. Again, check your progress number 6. So my dear students, in this paper, all of your concepts are made clear theoretically in brief, then more and more time is given on practice. Like, here are some expressions which are important to note and practice in your daily life. What do you have to do? Match the informal expressions in column A with their formal expressions in column B. Now this is a very important thing, and there are 7 expressions in column A and same 7 expressions in column B. So these expressions are formal and the informal expressions. So by reading these expressions, you can very well understand whether we have been using the expressions in the right context. I mean to say that if you are using the formal expressions in the formal situation, or if you are using the informal expressions in the formal situation. If you are using the informal expressions in the formal situation, then again this is a problem. This is a barrier to communication. like oh hi. So oh hi, so long, sorry yaar, hello Dev. So these are all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Column A, left hand side. So these are students. These are the informal expressions, and these informal expressions should never be used in the formal situations. In the formal situations, in the formal context, in the classrooms, in college, in your office, before your teacher, right, in a meeting, in a presentation. For example, I tell you one personal example that I was having a kind of classroom presentation. Then one student said, "Hello, friends. Oh, hi. Today I am going to give my presentation on this topic." So that is totally unacceptable. In the classroom situations, nobody is your friends. Nobody, if the friends are there, friends are outside your classroom. They are your classmates. The teacher is not your friend. Your classmates are your friends. There, you can say, my dear listeners, or my dear classmates, or the respected teacher. So be sure about it. Although these are very simple points, but we are ignoring these simple points. That's the reason that these points are again reinforced in the study material of paper BEGLA 135, English in Daily Life. That these are the small and very minute mistakes that we do or commit daily, unknowingly or unintentionally. Our intention is not like that we are not going to make a mistake, but due to ignorance or wrong practice or wrong habit, we use them. We use the informal expressions in the formal situations, and this is unacceptable, and this should be avoided. This should not be used. So he says, oh hi. So there you can see there are the exclamation sign of exclamations. Oh hi, keep quiet, hello Dev, lucky fellow, so long, bye then, sorry jar. Jar word means, it is a Hindi word, friend in English, but these days I have seen that students are using these words in their groups, even in the classrooms, and these are informal expressions, and try to avoid the use of these words, because then you are going to make a habit, and there are some students who are addressing their teachers not knowing, intentionally, but just the slip of tongue as hello yaar, or like this is wrong, right? So even this is mentioned in your study material. That's why I'm referring to it. And the formal language should be given prior importance and prior preference, because it is your communication skills, it is your use of words that is making your personality or that is portraying your personality in a positive or in a negative manner. Now there is the second column, column B. So there are again 7 expressions. These are the formal expressions, like good night. This is the formal expression. And good morning, what a pleasant surprise. Goodbye, and this is indeed a stroke of good luck. Please accept my apology, and would we all maintain a moment's silence, please? And good morning, Mr. Dev Kumar, how do you do? So these are the expressions. So again there is query. I repeat that this paper is BEGLA 135, English in Daily Life. So this is the third session for paper BEGLA 135, English in Daily Life, and today this is the third session for this paper. So vocabulary, that is the formal and informal expressions. So these are the informal and formal expressions. So column, like you can say hello Dev, and on the right side it is good morning Mr. Dev Kumar, how do you do? So now you can see the difference. If Mr. Dev is your senior, of Mr. Dev is your teacher, Mr. Dev is your boss in the office, and if you say hello Dev, and if you say good morning Mr. Dev Kumar, how do you do? Now you can see the difference, and you can anticipate the difference in the output or in the result of your behavior, right? And and one more example, sorry yaar, and on the other side he says, please accept my apology. Now you can see the difference. Bye then, okay, goodbye, okay, and oh hi, and again good night, lucky fellow. So this is indeed a stroke of good luck. So these are the different examples, and I suggest, I advise that you should try to memorize these expressions in both columns, column A and column B. Column A, you have to also memorize that these are the informal expressions, and we should try to avoid these expressions. We should not use these expressions left hand side, and you have to keep focus on the right hand side expressions, that is good night, good morning, and what a pleasant surprise, goodbye, this is indeed a stroke of good luck, please accept my apology, would we all maintain a moment's silence please. Now you can see on left hand side it says keep quiet, so keep quiet, and this is authoritative. Yes, in the classroom the teacher can say, or in a meeting the chairman can say if he has got authority. And if you are in the peer group, or if you are in the same level of authority, you can say what is there, keep quiet, the other is would we all maintain a moment's silence please. So now you can see the difference, right? And so long, then good morning, what a pleasant surprise, and so these are the expressions. Oh hi, good night. So left hand side and right hand side. So I think that what I wanted to say, you have understood the point, that my dear students, it's not a difficult thing, it's not any mathematical problem, but it is more important than a mathematical formula, because these very things are generally not taken into account in the colleges or in the schools. We are learning poems, stories, we are learning their character sketches, we are right, that is also part of your curriculum and that should be done, but these things generally we leave behind. And once we are out with graduation degree, and then we go to the place of work, or we move in the society and the formal situations, then we realize that something has been missed. So now here I am trying to say those things, or I'm trying to help you or facilitate you, that these things should be given priority and should be taken into consideration, so that your learning of BEGLA paper or BEGAE paper, English in daily life or English general courses, this learning becomes fruitful, effective, not only for academic purpose, because language learning is different from other papers. If you are studying history, if you are studying political science, there the knowledge is thematic knowledge, then there the knowledge is a subject matter knowledge. You are not going to apply history in daily life, you're not going to apply the your sociology in daily life. Yes, you are going to apply the philosophy. Again, the point is of the assimilation, point is of the philosophical concept, then applying in your behavior. Same thing happens in case of language learning, literature learning, that you try to apply them in practical form. Otherwise, going through the study material, appearing in the examination, getting the pass marks and getting the degree, fine, this is also our one purpose, but something more that is going to be fruitful in your real life, academic as well as professional, personal, social, and a kind of your culture and development in civilization or the civil society. Now we move ahead. Again he says, match the idioms expressions used in the two listening tasks listed in column A with the meanings in columns B. Now again, yes, these are some expressions, idioms. When we are speaking or when we are writing, then sometimes we use some expressions. Expressions are there, or the idioms are there. And like bunk, so bunk class. So bunk means to or keep away from, seem lost, spread wings, and pot calling the kettle black and break the ice. So these are some phrases, expressions, idioms, and on the right hand side there are the corresponding meanings. Let me read. First of all, make people feel comfortable by cracking a joke, etc. This is the meaning of break the ice. Go beyond one's usual boundary, go activities. And find fault with another person when the speaker fault finder has the same defect, pot calling the kettle black. And appear confused and uncomfortable, seem lost, go away, or to avoid duty or responsibility, bunk class, and keep away from, not to go somewhere. So these are the expressions. On left hand side, bunk class, keep away from, seem lost, you can say, or spread wings, just go beyond one's usual boundary, and activities, pot calling the kettle black, break the ice. So this is a list. There are only 6 idioms, but it is not the ending of the idioms. And yes, now question is of the use of idioms, whether we should use the idioms or not. Again, this is the question mark. And where we should use, and what kind of idioms should be used in the formal situation and in the informal situation. Yes, this is also question, important question. Generally, in the classrooms, in the school days, in the college, we are taught by the teachers, and we are learning idioms. Now we are taught the idioms, we are learning the idioms, we are cramming the meanings, but we generally do not learn the situations where to use the idioms and what idioms are to be used in which situation. Because if you are choosing the idioms in the out of situation, then you are becoming a laughing stock, and the whole process of communication may be spoiled. So what is the simple answer? The simple answer is this, that when we are studying the rules of formal speaking, formal writing, then it is advised or it is recommended that do not use the idioms and expressions, especially in case of technical or formal writing, because language is used for 2 purposes. First is creative literature like English literature, Hindi literature, any other literature written in Punjabi literature, Bengali literature, Gujarati literature, Indian, French literature, where the language is used to write literature or literature. This is called creative writing, because there something is created. And who is creating the literature? The author, the writer, the poet, the essayist, the novelist, the dramatist, the person, if he is writing poetry, he is a poet. Or like we are remembering those great persons like Shakespeare. Shakespeare was a great dramatist, and he had written so many dramas. Those are called plays. And why he was writing dramas, that is one more interesting story. And even like these days, people are being sent to the quarantine centers due to this pandemic of COVID-19. And if you study the biography of Shakespeare, you will find one incident in his life, that he was also quarantined for few weeks of, I think, 2 months. At that time there was also a kind of pandemic, I think plague was there at that time, and he had created, and in those months of quarantine he had written one more drama, right? Because in those days there were no cinema halls, there were no movies, and the dramas were played on stages. So that's why they were called also plays. Coming back, so creative literature. So in the creative literature, the use of idioms, expressions, flights of fancies is permissible, and permissible beyond limits, because it is about the creativity, and the purpose is not only to inform. The purpose is different. The purpose is to tell or take the reader to new domains of thinking. That is creative literature. So there the poet has liberty. He can use expressions, he can use idioms, and sometimes the poets or the authors or the writers are creating themselves new and newer expressions. And even you can see that there are some quotations of Shakespeare that we are now using them as idioms and expressions. But in case of now, our purpose is the formal writing or the formal speaking, or like technical writing. You have read the official notices, the government notices. Generally, the idioms, expressions, phrases are not used because the purpose is direct communication. The purpose is the sending of direct information, and there should be no room, no place for any distortion of message, misinterpretation of message, or misunderstanding of information. The message should be crystal clear. Like these days, if you have read so many office orders by government authorities, those are very much clear without any ambiguity. But if you have read the judgments of court, then they have different set of language, and the lawyers, advocates, they are able to understand, and because that is called technical language or the jargon, right? So here, coming back to our purpose, English in daily life. So in daily life, the simple golden rule for students of undergraduate program first year is this, that in daily life, in the formal situations, there is if you are using the idioms and expressions, because there is a long list of idioms and expressions. If you are having one book, if you go to market and get one book, idioms and expressions, there are the thousands of idioms and expressions, and many of them are used like 5, 10, 50, 100, which are very prevalent, that each one knows that tit for tat, honesty is the best policy, right? So these generally accepted or the prevalent idioms could be used in the formal situations, but in order to show off, in order to try to, you can say, dominate the other person, or you want to decorate your language, if you are using the idioms and expressions in the formal situations, then sometimes it is unacceptable and this should be avoided. And in case of the informal situation, you can use the idioms and expressions. Why? Because even then, in the informal situation, you have the time as well as you have the medium in order to explain the meaning of the idioms and expressions, because the relationship between the speaker and the listener, reader and the writer is also very close. Because if the relationship is close, then we are using the informal language. If the relationship is formal, then you cannot use. If you are using the informal expressions in the formal relationships, then again this is unacceptable, and the results and the outcomes would not be desirable. Okay, so this is a summary of some of the learning items, and column A of task 2. Okay, so this was your point number 1.7. 1.7, that was of your expressions and others. Now last is of 1.8, farewells and goodbyes. Farewells and goodbyes. So starting the conversation, ending the conversation, and greetings and goodbyes. Yesterday we focused on greetings, so this is your block first, right? And there are the farewells and goodbyes. So along with the greetings, what is the meaning of farewell? That we are now going away, we are parting, we are moving away, the meeting is over, the social gathering is over, and now we are going away, or like the lecture is going on and now the lecture is going to be closed. So every time there are some different types of goodbyes. Why this is so? Why do we use the greetings and goodbyes? Why there are farewells? Why there are goodbyes? It's a human courtesy, natural courtesies of life. This is civilization. This is your social requirements, because this is kind of going away for leaving a room behind for reconnecting. Because if you are on talking terms with someone, then you greet him and you say goodbye to him. Or if you are not on talking terms with someone, then you would say that neither you express your greetings nor you express your farewells to him. So, along with greetings, farewells are an important part of social interaction, both in the informal and formal situations. So, greetings are there, and as well as farewells are also very important. And again, this activity is done in the Check Your Progress number 7 form. Read the short dialogues below and decide on the following for each piece. So, as we have been discussing, that the practice is based, and the paper is based on practice, and practice is based on your Check Your Progress activities in your study material. So that's why for learning of this paper, I suggest all the times that if you have downloaded the study material or if you have got the printout of the study material, please refer to the study material, because this is going to be helpful as a helping tool for your learning of the topic. So Check Your Progress number 7. Read the short dialogues below and decide on the following for each piece. Where is the conversation taking place? What is their relationship? Stranger, friends, family, acquaintances, colleagues, and neighbors. And underline the words and expressions used in each case to signal that the conversation is coming to a close, and parting salutation used. So parting salutation, like when we meet, we salute each other. That is called greetings, salutation. So now this parting, moving away, salutation. And here the example is given. So there are six examples are given, and in these you have to read. I am reading for you at least 1, 2, and you have to reread. You can say that there is first example, Anju. Oh my gosh, it is already, gosh means oh my god, he is saying this way. Oh my gosh, it is already 5. I would better rush. Mom will be wondering what happened to me. Then other friend, we must get together again soon. We must. Yes, we must. Bye now. Bye Anju, take care. So bye now and take care. So now these are the two expressions that we find, that these two friends are parting now and they have used bye now and take care. The second example, Mrs. D'Souza, excuse me, Mr. Verma, here is the report you wanted. Then Mr. Verma says, oh yes, thank you. So this D'Souza, and then expression is, and then the conversation is going on. I am not reading all the dialogues and just coming to the last dialogue. And he says, yes, thank you, sir. I will. Good night, Mr. Verma. Good night. Good night. So yes, these last two, I am just reading the last two dialogues of each example. Then example number 3, Mr. Martin, well, that is all for now. Shall we call it a day? Yes, most certainly, sir. Again, so they were discussing about the Friday night. Then last he says, that is fine by me. Goodbye. Then have a nice weekend. So goodbye then and have a nice weekend. Again, the farewell, expression of farewell. Then fourth example, Rakesh, hello Sudha. Okay, fancy bumping into you here. Okay, then again, nice to see you. Then last, again, I will try see you. Bye bye. So bye bye in this example, bye bye. They are also the formal expressions, and they are also formal expressions of salutation. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye. Good night. Example number 5, Jim. Thanks for the lovely evening, Lata. It was a nice get together and the food was absolutely delicious. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Do drop in again whenever you have the time. Then Jim says, yes, I will. Good night, Lata, and then thanks once again. Good night and take care. So good night, thanks once again. And the answer, the reciprocation of the reciprocal of the good night and thanks once again. Good night and take care. Then one more example. Maria, good evening. I am Manisha Karthik, and so Mike. No, I Mike Watson from London. Oh, sorry about that. I have made a mistake. Good night, Mr. Watson. Goodbye, Miss Karthik. So again, these are the example. Now we are moving ahead with your grammar topic. The simple present tense or verb to be. Yes, this is very important. Grammar, the simple present tense verb to be. Notice the words in bold. So to be in grammar, because in every set of your blocks you are finding some references to the grammar topic. So here in this block 1, the reference of grammar to the grammar is to be. So be is the auxiliary verb, be. So be stands for am, is, are. Like we are having how many auxiliary verb? Be. Be stands for is, I am, is, are, was, were. Right? Then of you are have, has, had, and will be, shall be. So here the focus is on only the be. Be is for the simple present tense. Your topic is 1.9 grammar, the simple present tense, verb to be. And I am, you are, she, he, she, it is, we are, they are. And in the conversation and informal writing, we use contractions. So these are the contractions. I am, you are, he is, it is, Anju is, and we are, they are. So be form is used for here the simple present. Was, were is not mentioned. So that's why in the conversation, notice the words in bold. I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, they are. So we are going to discuss, and one student is asking about whether we correct form to pronounce I apostrophe D, I had or I would. So my dear students, according to the situation, we can see that in both cases I would and I had is used, and we can discuss in detail. I will give you more examples that how we can use the I apostrophe D as I had or I would later on. Let me discuss first of all this topic, and I can give you more examples that how it is to be pronounced and how the examples are clarifying the usage of I had or I would. I apostrophe D. Okay, so one student is asking the question, I am replying to it. Then we can discuss in detail later on. Okay, so check your progress number 8. Insert am, is, are in the following sentences. Yes. So check your progress number 8. It is about progress number 8. So insert am, is, are in the following. Yeah, it's so simple. You can say that am is always used with I, as you know very well. That what is the use of am? Am is never used with he, she, or at. Am is only reserved for I. So I am, I think, you are. And there is one simple question. It's like a simple question. Why we are using are with you? Why we are not using is with you? Because although I am singular, you are, although you may be one person or two persons, even if it is singular you, one person, again we are using are. And for he or she we are using is, or the plural of he or she is they, then we are using are. So first person, second person, third person. For first person we are using am. For second person we are using are. For third person singular we are using is. And for third person plural we are using are, they, plural of he, she, it is, they, and they are. So why? Simple question, that why we are using are for second person in both cases, singular as well as plural. You are single person. You, all of you, hundreds of students in the classroom, all of you are again are. So this is simple answer, that in order to mark respect, so in order to show respect, like in Hindi we are having different pronouns for second person. For singular pronoun you will say tum, or for plural pronoun, for plural form we say aap. Same, but in English language there is no tum or aap, there is only you. So, and tum for singular, again you can say tum word and aap word. So tum word and aap word, again there is the difference of the degree of respect. You never say tum to your teacher or to your parents, or you are using the word aap with your seniors. So same thing applies in English language. So this is one of the reasons, although this is the there are the set rules and traditions we have been using for centuries. And what I have come to know, I may be right, I may be wrong, but what I have understood, that the second person singular is also used with R-A-R-E, and second person plural, you, means many, more than 1, 2, 5, 100, 10, 5,000, also are. So they are plural form. So you are, again for singular, showing a sense of respect. And so textual progress number 8, insert M is R in the following sentences. He is late, isn't he? Okay, so there is, if you are reading the sentence carefully, you would see that there is also a kind of question tags. This is also called question tag. He is late. This is simple statement. And then he says, isn't he? This is a way of adding tags. This is called adding the question tag in order to reinforce the meaning. And we are very well, thank you. Ritu and Rohit are in Canada. I am extremely happy today. I think you are really busy today. So these are the simple. And in the conversation and informal writing, we use contractions. Yes, like the student was asking whether we should use I had or I would. Because why there is the confusion? Because that is I apostrophe D is there, and it is used had or would in different manner. But here he says that it should be used only in the informal writing. Like he says, in the conversation and the informal writing, we use contractions. This is called, my dear student, contractions. Like I am, I apostrophe only am. You are, you apostrophe re, he apostrophe s, it is. So these are the informal writings. So be careful. So once you are writing in the examination or you are writing a formal letter, you should never use, or just try to use these informal ways, because otherwise it will lead to the towards a kind of confusion. Like in the example where it is written that yes, the confusion is there for, because the conversation is of the informal, situation, and but in the formal situations, full, insert M is R, then write the sentences with contractions. Now here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, again we are all very busy, so very simple topic, and but again for practice, we are all very busy. Rita is here today. I am sorry indeed, my name is Parul, and the train is late again. So we are all very busy. Again we are, and Rita is, again apostrophe, and I apostrophe am, my name. I think again you can recheck the answers once you complete your progress activities. Now read the passage given below and underline the verbs in it. So there is no need to education. It is not that you read the book, pass on examination and finish with education. The whole of life from the moment you are born to the moment you die is a process of learning. So it is written by J. Krishnamurti, and in this passage you have to underline the verbs in it. So you have to underline the verbs in it. So verb means you see know what is the meaning of verb, and again there is a list of verb, and in the classrooms in the school days we have been taught and we have been learning the verbs and also the forms of verb, first form, second form, third form of verb, because the verbs are used in three forms in different tense situations. Tense means of time. I play, I played, or I write, wrote, I wrote, I had written, right? So present or simple future or the simple past, second form, and the perfect present, past and future, you know very well. So we have to learn. And what is the solution? There is no solution. There is no there is no shortcut to the solution. The solution is of you have to learn, because there are many verbs. And what's the meaning of simple meaning of verb? Not grammatical meaning. Simple verb meaning is action. As if you have to keep in mind what is the meaning of verb. Not I am not giving you the grammatical definition, only just for the sake of keeping in mind what is the meaning of verb. Any action. Something is happening, something is moving, something is being done. Action. Like tense, what is simple meaning of tense? Time. Present, past, future. Students are confused. Tense, tense, tense. No, there is no need to get tense, means tension. Simple say tense means time. Present tense, present time. Past tense, past time. Future tense, future time. Simple. And then there are the further four, that is of the simple or the indefinite or the continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Four of each, present, past and future into 3, 12. So it becomes 12 categories, and I think in the next lectures it will be there. So you have to read, because some students know these things, but some students are again unaware. So I am telling you in the simple manner. What is verb? You have to mean action. Something is over. Even some action doesn't mean happening, even that is moving. Even you can say that the person is sitting, the book lies. Even stagnation is also a kind of action. So sit is also a verb, right? So I just don't get the wrong meaning of my words, that the moving or action. I say action. Action may be stationary. Action may be in movement. So movement means moving from changing place, or stationary only stand still. So you will notice that the verbs read, pass, finish depict some action and are called action verbs. Yes, the point I was saying, it is again mentioned. These verbs are because they are showing some action, because when you are reading, a kind of action is done. Pass, finish, they depict some action and are called action verbs. On the other hand, the verbs is and are depict the states and not actions. They are called stative verbs, or sometimes helping verbs, or sometimes auxiliary verbs, right? So stative, he is giving us a new term, stative verb, or because auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs. Helping verbs, those are helping in the completion of meaning in the statement. Like is and are the simple present forms of the stative verb be. So we started with the topic be, and he says is and are the present forms. Present means the present tense form of the stative verb be. Other stative verbs are have, like, think, hope from this paragraph. So again, read your progress. Number 9, read the passage below and notice the subjects and their verbs. Now, one more point is coming, because I think if we can complete it today, that is of subject and verb, and the subject verb concord. Yes, this is important. I think if we can complete it today, yes. So he says that read the following and the subjects, because action. What's the meaning of subject? Subject of the action, because action is not done automatically. There is some person who generates action. The action is controlled by some person, by some object, by some force, by any object, human being, machine, anything that is dead, live, anything. Means action is the activity of something, some person, or that thing, that person, that equipment, that machine that is doing the action is called subject of the action. Means the generator of the action, the generator of the verb is called subject in simple meaning. For example, if I say I read, I speak, Ram plays. So read, speak is action, but who is generating, who is starting this action? I. Or Ram plays, play, game, Ram plays hockey. So hockey, it is not possible that the stick of a hockey is moving in there automatically. No, Ram is holding the hockey stick in his hand, right? So that is generator, the starter, creator of the action. So he says that I am aware of the change in the attitude of youth today. They are more focused. So simple thing that you will notice that I, they, the job scenario, the young, but most of the us are concerned with our own lives. So there are, my dear students, 9 sentences, and in the 9 sentences you would see that in your book, page number 23, that I, then there are the blanks, they, the job scenario, many young women, this, another trend, the young I, but most of us. These are the subjects of the respective concerned sentences. These are the 9 subjects of the 9 sentences. It means the actions of these sentences are based on these subjects, right? And because if you are able to find out, if you are able to identify the subject and the verb, then you are able to have the topic of subject verb concord be understood properly. Well, so this is called subject verb concord means connection or combination or a kind of agreement. Concord means agreement. If why? Reason simple, otherwise grammatically it is explained that, but in the simple meaning I want to say that the subject and verb should be in agreement according to the rules of grammar, according to the rules of noun, pronoun and verb and tense. If you are saying I am playing a hockey, fine. If you say I am played hockey, this is wrong. Subject verb concord, subject verb agreement is required. He is playing hockey, fine. He are playing hockey, wrong. So subject verb concord means that the agreement of the subject, whether it is noun or pronoun, according to its number. If it is singular, then it is different. If it is plural, then use is different. So singular noun or singular pronoun, if it is singular, what is pronoun? The word used in place of noun. So singular noun or plural noun, singular pronoun or plural pronoun. So then if there is pronoun, then there are 3 persons of pronoun. First person, second person, third person of pronouns. I, my, me, we, our, us. First person of pronoun. You, your, yours. Second person, they, she, he, she, it, they, them. It is third person of pronouns, right? So that is the combination, the agreement of means there should be agreement. Both should agree grammatically. Subject verb concord. You will notice that the simple present forms of the verb be differ according to the number and person of the subject. So I am, you are, he, she, it is, this is, these are, we are, right? So complete the following passages with the correct form of the be. So here just grammar is so simple, and my dear students, the study material is created in that manner that you are able to understand the topics in a systematic manner. So here the grammar topic, the part of the grammar is only of the BE, simple form, present form, that is of I am, you are, he, she, is, it, is, this, is, these, are, and we are. And you have to complete the passage using the correct form of the verb be. So here again you have to complete it, and for your evaluation I think the answers are given at the end of your blogs. And so I think this is going to be the completion of the first unit. Only one topic is remaining, pronunciation. So pronunciation, practice these greetings and introductions. Yes, so practice these greetings and introductions for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the generally used dialogues and conversations, and we have to make a practice so that when in the formal situations and the informal situations, when we are in the need of the dialogues, we may not fall short of the expressions, because in order to develop your skills you have to memorize, remember, learn some expressions, idioms and dialogues in advance, so that there should be no hesitation at the time of expression and speaking. So these are, I'm just reading, how are you, very well, thank you, and you. So these are the formal dialogues. Second, pleased to meet you. The other person says, pleased to meet you too. How did you do? How did you do? So this is not a question mark. This is the form of greeting. How did you do? The other person also says, how did you do? And please call me Anju. Then you must call me Rahul. And the last is, how is life? Not too bad, but rather busy. So these are the expressions, because if someone is asking you, how did you do? Then you must know what you have to give the answer. The answer is, how did you do? And if anyone asks, how is life? Then you can say, not too bad, but rather busy. But these days, life is quite different. So let's sum up. He says this unit, number 1, we have dealt with the importance of starting and ending conversations. And it is an aspect of etiquette. Yes, we started from etiquettes. Yesterday we discussed a lot about etiquettes, about psychology, sociology, culture, civil society, family, right? And social grace, that is increasingly important in global world. Then we're reading passage in etiquettes and learning of etiquettes, body language, and the listening passages and sample dialogues, and make students aware of the finer issues involved in starting the ending of conversation. So in the last, in order to complete, so there are only 6 points. So just in order to sum up in brief, so starting conversation involves 3 steps: greeting, introducing yourself, and asking after. Second point, ending involves 2 steps: signaling the end, to give the signal, signaling the end, and parting salutation, to give the signal, signaling the end that the ending is approaching. And the choice of the expressions, words, phrases to be used depends on the situation. So that's the point we discussed in detail. Okay, what kind of expressions, idioms should be used in the formal situation or in the informal situation. So this choice of expressions, words, phrases, this depends on the situation. This depends on the situation, whether it is formal or the informal, and also relationship, etc., age, and the person speaking. Yes, if the formal relationship, even you can see that if you are meeting your boss in the market also, or outside the your office premises, even then the way you are speaking is formal, because although the situation is informal, but the relationship is formal. So this base, be careful about the situation, about the formal relationship or the informal. And again, so these are the 6 points, golden rule. The younger junior person is presented, introduced to the senior older person. Yes, you have to remember in your life that when you are you are going to introduce the younger person or the junior person to the senior or the older person, and the initiative to close a conversation must come from the older one. Yes, this is a very good point, that if there is conversation is going on, and do you feel that now it is time to close the conversation, then the senior or the older person should try to complete or close the conversation. Because if the younger person or the junior person is trying to close the conversation, then senior might think that he is not ready to listen to my conversation or to my dialogues, and you may indicate your desire to end a conversation through your body language by making excuses and apologies. Yes, the body language is at the same time very important. And so these 6 are the golden rules of the starting a conversation, ending a conversation, formal situations, informal situations, greetings and goodbyes. So this is the first unit of first block we have done in detail, and I have tried to give my point, and if I have done in a positive manner, and if you are benefited, it is I feel obliged. Now tomorrow we will start with the second unit, social small talk, and feelings are also there. Social small talk, feelings, and then the informal situation. And it is and today it is the third session. We are left with 3 more sessions, and we will try to cover up maximum topics, because it's not possible that we are going to complete all the topics, all the points in 6 sessions. So this is only a kind of humble help from the teacher's side that we can extend in these difficult times, and this is like a humble help, and teachers are only facilitators to help you the students. And if you are doing well and taking it seriously and doing a lot of hard work, then your success is the real reward for us. Thank you very much for this session. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Bye.